Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's me, Scott Anderson, here at Stronger Yoga. Happy whatever, while it's all going on, all of the stuff. And so we probably need to practice yoga. I know that I do. You can practice yoga to stay strong, to stay healthy, to stay flexible, to improve, overall health and all of that stuff. I mostly do it so I don't lose my shit. Let's do some yoga right now. But I do want you to know something before we get started. This is my friend. His name is Boozy Bunny. As you can see, he has a bit of a flexibility problem. He's too flexible. There's no structure. Now, it could be that he has a bit of a substance problem. But it's also the fact that he doesn't have the strength to hold himself upright. So as we get older, we've got to be strong and resilient. That's why when you're this small, look at who just walked in here, Tiny Diamond. When you're this small and it's just everything works and everything bends and she can just squat and jump and dance, and I'll bet you she could even do a cartwheel right now.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Do it right now. Boom! She didn't even get warmed up for that. Okay? She just did it. Look at, I don't know what she's doing, but she's okay. Thank you. You've more than demonstrated my point.
You should not throw Boozy Bunny. That's not nice.
You're right.
You should treat stuffed animals very nicely.
Okay, I've been schooled. Thanks a lot for that, Tiny Diamond. And I promise I won't abuse Boozy Bunny ever again. Okay, thanks a lot. So now that we got that out of the way, that's the reason why I want to convince you to try to add strengthening and therapeutics to your yoga practice. And you might be saying to yourself, it already does that. It can. A lot of times we're just skirting around the edges of what we could do on our mat to make our body really, really healthy and resilient. So please step to the center of yours. I'm going to place my feet right there on the center, side to side, front to back. I want to be at the center of my mat so that I can get to the center of myself. Lift the left leg, take the foot off the floor. You're taking your left foot off of the floor so that your right leg begins to engage and help you stabilize. But since we have this left foot off of the floor, I want you to roll through your ankle. This is called circumduction. It's when you're spinning from a central point. And now we're going to take that to the knee. And now we're going to take that to the hip. And that feels like you're drawing circles on a whiteboard here just to the left of you. And try going both ways. Let's take that foot back and see if we can't just lower the knees down without using our hands. And if you need to use your hands to bring your knee to the floor, that's great. But that shows us what we can work on if we don't have the ability to do that. Ankle to thigh. Hand on the ankle, hand on the knee. I'm going to point the left big toe and push down. Then I'm going to grab the knee and lift up. Pulling my shin up to my chest. Last, I'm going to take my foot around and capture it with my right hand, pull the heel to the tailbone, left hand to the knee, and I'm going to try to lift my left knee into the air. Let me show you that from the side. So I'm trying to lift my left knee up. And then release. Take that left foot and just curl your toes under and press down. So you guys can see that. We're stretching the top of the foot. And it might feel like you get a cramp there when you do that. But we gotta sometimes use a little bit of persuasion for those toes, all right? Now back to the other side. Lift your right leg into the air. And while I'm standing on my left leg, my left stabilizers are engaging because I haven't fallen over. So that's a good sign that they're working and they're calibrating, so to speak. Let's turn at the ankle. Turn at the knee. and turn at the hips. Go both ways and step back. Bring right knee gently to the floor. We're going to take it right back up. Now I go ankle to thigh, hand on the ankle, point the big toe, hand on the knee, and we're going to push down. And then we're going to grab the bottom of the knee and the shin and lift up. Bring your foot around and grab it with your left hand. Pull your heel to your tailbone. Right hand comes to the knee. And again, as I hinge forward, I'm going to pull the heel to the tailbone and lift the right knee to the ceiling. And release. Plant that right foot. Reach your hands forward. Spread your fingers like you just dropped 2 microphones. Lift up the heels and bend the knees. Now, conveniently, I've placed a yoga block near my mat. And I didn't tell you to grab one. I don't know if you have one. If you do, this would be a good time to grab it. Because what I want you to do is place the block in front of your right foot. I'm going to stand upright, and I've got the block about 3 inches in front of my right toes, if you guys can see that. And I'm just going to place left hand on my hip, right hand on the block, and I'm going to lift my foot and tap the top of the block. Plant the foot, lift, tap the top. Plant the foot, lift, tap the top. And then I'm going to switch. So I go block to the side, and now that I'm doing the other side, I want to show you, remember, a block is this beautiful rectangle brick shape so that it can be tilted to any angle. So if I can go a little bit lower, I can try to place my foot on the block, and I can even go a little bit lower, right? And if I can touch at this level and maybe place my foot on the block and take it off and put it back on the floor, now we're really learning to operate into the upper thigh and the hip. Let's go back to the right, and again, use that block at any angle you like. But what we're trying to do, and I want to make sure that I mention this, don't bend your knee to get your foot on the block. We want to keep the fingers on the block and try to put our toes. If you don't have a block, you simply reach down and you try to kick your own hand. And that's another way to go about that. Go ahead and rise up. Now that we've worked through the front of the hip and we've started to work through the glute, let's go ahead and begin a salutation. Again, standing at the center of the mat, reach your hands up high, take a deep breath, hinge forward, and touch the floor. Go ahead and bend your knees, lift the heels, and squat down. Let's take the knees apart, place the elbows on the inside of the knees. Palms together, and just pause here. I'm using my knees as leverage to try to pull them apart with my elbows, or push them apart rather, and also use my elbows to hook my knees. Like I'm preparing for Bakasana, even though we're not going to do it right now at this moment. Let's go heels up high, and bring the knees together. Plant the hands behind us. We're going to lift the butt off of the heels, and we're going to lift the chin off the chest and look behind us. And then bring the butt down, bring the hands forward, step the feet back, and we're in a plank. Lower your chest all the way to the floor. Take your palms off of the floor as high as you can. Now, I'm going to pop up just for a second. You're welcome to too, so that you can see again with this yoga block, if I can get my hand, once I lie my chest on the floor, this high so that I could get it on a block, or I could place my hand on a block. That's what we're trying to do. So I guess the bottom line here, guys, is try to get your hands as high off the floor as you can without your elbows at your sides, okay? Because then you're gonna roll the shoulders up to the ears, and then your neck disappeared, okay? So when you lower down and place your chest on the floor, keep those elbows out, and try to take your hands off the floor as wide as you can. Let's just practice that, because we're gonna really incorporate that into the flow today. So chest down on the floor. If you came back up, And then all I'm gonna do is try to lift my hands so that somebody could slide blocks under my hands. Then I lower the hands and I pull my belly button and groin off the floor. You can start with the knees. Let's go to the side. You can lift the knees, and then pushing my feet into the floor takes my groin off the floor and lifts my butt into the air. Then I try to slide my hands under my chest while I'm pushing. Press back. Go ahead and bend your knees for a moment, move around any way you like. We're gonna go through a really simple salutation pattern. Built for rotation. We're gonna focus a lot on the obliques, the side bodies, the love handles. Spread your fingers. Lift your right leg up into the air. Open your hip, bend your knee if you want, and then bring your knee under your chest and step forward as soft as you can. All we're gonna do is reach the right hand for the ceiling, and I'm gonna look up to see where my right thumb went. Reach down, step back, lower your chest to the floor. Lift your hands off of the floor so that somebody could slide blocks under your palms. Then plant your palms, pull your belly off the floor, push your chest off the floor, press back, and it's nice to bend those knees a little bit. A little less tension in the hamstrings gives your back a little bit more opportunity to pull the groin back and lift the sitting bones and the tailbone. Left leg lifts, step through. Reach your left hand up. I'm already sweating. Look up at your left thumb. Right leg is straight. So be mindful of what is happening that you can't see, all right? So anytime you're like looking at your thumb, we kind of want to ask ourselves the question during our asana practice, out of sight, out of mind. What can't I see? I can't see my right foot. So I'm going to focus on it for just a second. Plant the hand, step back, chest to the floor, lift the palms so that somebody could slide bricks or blocks under them. Plant the hands, lift the groin. I'm going to try to slide my hands under my chest as I push to recruit more pec muscle. Press back, little bend in the knees. Right leg lifts. Step forward. Right hand reaches up. Right hand reaches down. Step back, chest to the mat, lift the palms. Plant the palms, lift the groin. Push the chest off, press back. Little bend in the knees. Left leg lifts, exhale, step. Left hand reaches up, big breath in. Reach down, step back, chest to the floor. Lift the palms, plant the palms, lift the groin, push off the chest, and press back. One more set, right leg lifts, focus on your breath, exhale, step. Inhale, right hand high. Exhale, reach down, step back, lower your chest. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, lower the hands, lift the groin, and push. Press back. Last one, left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Left hand reaches up. Reach down, step back, chest to the floor. Lift the hands, lower the hands, lift the groin, push off the chest, press back, lower the knees. Guys, you got some of this? I got some of that going on. That's what we like. But once we finish salutation, I always want to sort of come into this hero's pose. To me, it's just, I call it samurai pose. This feels like a samurai. If I had my little sword right there in front of me, I'm getting super mega zenned out so that I can go whoop ass across the Chinese countryside, the Japanese countryside, whatever, sorry. Take a couple of deep breaths. Lift your butt off your feet, curl your toes under, and sit back down for just a second. See if you can't lift one knee and then the other. We're always working in Stronger Yoga on creating mobility through the lower half of the body. It's going to be really important as we age. We should be able at any age, hopefully, be able to get ourselves up off of the floor, lying on our back without using our arms. So that's a quick test that you can always use to assess how you're doing at your age. Lower the knees. going to step the right foot forward. Lift the left knee up. And up we come into Anjaneyasana. Reach your hands up into the air. Lift the back heel, straighten the back leg, and then roll the left hip forward. That's really your left inner thigh rolling back. Your back leg steers your hips. Now we have a really useful video on that in our series, our asana workshop series. So you can go back and review the best practices for Anjaneyasana if you need to. Bring your hands to your heart. We're going to go really slow through this transition because we're going to shift our balance and body weight through our feet. Thumbs are just at the base of my sternum. Slowly, I'm going to straighten the right leg. As I do that, I'm going to slowly hinge forward at the hips and bend the left knee and lift the left heel. I'm trying to slide my mat out from underneath me with my right foot. I'm trying to hold my mat down with the ball of my left foot. From here, without my thumbs sliding across my chest, I want my thumbs to stick like glue, super glued to my sternum. That's the center of your rib cage. And then turn to the right. Keep pushing back with your right foot and keep holding your mat down with your left foot. Untwist. Place your hands on your thigh. Straighten your right leg one more time and slide your hands down under the knee if you can. Stop at the knee if you need to. Stop wherever you need to. Slide down as far as you dare, but right leg is straight, left knee is bent. Slide the hands down. I'm now at the top of my foot. In case you're just focusing on your own practice, my fingers are on toes and my fingers are on the mat. From here, I'm going to bend the right knee and step left foot forward. Hands on the knees, and we rise all the way to standing at the top of the mat. Here we're going to switch legs. Cross right ankle over left thigh. Squat down. Your hands can be at your heart, and that's a nice neutral position. You can take your palms to face the top edge of your mat and reach back, pressing your chest against your shirt. You could also reach your hands up, thumbs over shoulders, straight line from hands to hips. And release. Right foot plants, hands reach up. Invite a deep breath, hinge forward, touch the floor, lift your left leg and step back. Turn to your left, pivoting on your feet. Now your chest is hovering over the long edge of your mat to the left. From here, we're gonna rise. And I'll meet you at that other camera now. Turn your right foot out. Your obliques pull us into lateral flexion. That's part of their job. They also help with rotation. So let's go into triangle. That means legs are straight, right foot turns out, nothing is locked out or hyperextended. So soften those quads enough and engage that popliteus, that little muscle at the back of your knee, to keep your knees unlocked. So you could wiggle a little bit if you needed to. Place your right hand on the shin, the knee, the thigh, wherever you need that hand. And it could be on the floor on a block, but what I want you to make sure as you reach your left hand up and come into a triangle is that you're preventing your body from expanding on the left side. So I want to take the left hip and pull it up towards the armpit. That means if my hand is on my shin, I'm not going to use it to droop. And a quick way to fix that is to take your hand off and then all of these muscles wake up, otherwise you'd be falling to your thigh, right? So remember, you can place your hands there as a landmark, as a touchstone, but try not to do that where you're bearing weight and slumping. There's space between your ear and your shoulder. Take a deep breath here, reach your left hand over. And even though I'm reaching, I'm still trying to tighten. See, I'm trying to get my right or left hand closer to my left hip without bending the elbow. So I retract the shoulder, I pull the hip up. So I'm nice and tight on that side. Now let's transition. Take the left hand up, bend the elbow, slide your hand behind your back, bend your right knee, and as I reach right hand up, I'm not gonna turn to the right. I'm gonna keep facing you, you keep facing me. Let's hold each other accountable here. And I'm gonna lower left shoulder to left ankle. Reaching back as far as I can, my hand is open to drop the mic, and then I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna reach over my leg, straighten my leg, hand to shin. Not to bear weight, just as a thing to touch. Left hand reaches up, and it reaches over. Notice I have not turned my chest away from the camera that I'm facing and talking to. My hand reaches back. I'm trying to deliberately decide what moves when, and that helps me neuroconnect to my muscles so that I'm more aware of what I'm doing. Reach up, bend the knee, lower the left shoulder. Going slow, being mindful of your movement, is like when you've read a page too fast and you recognize you didn't get any of that information, so you go back and read it again slow. Reach over your foot, straighten your leg, hand to shin or knee. Left hand reaches up. Even though I'm reaching over my head, I'm not trying to expand from hand to hip, I'm trying to shorten it. One more time. Reach up, place your hand on your back, bend your knee, take your hand off your shin, reach up, keep facing me, I'm facing you. Reach up and over. This time I want you to bend the right elbow and hand on the top of the head, fingertips on the left side of the head, so you're holding your head, and now try to lower your left ear a little bit closer to your left shoulder while you're holding your head and feeling that pull on your right side. Slowly release. We're going to reach forward again and plant the hand on the top right corner. Left hand is on my hip, and when I push my hand down, I can start to pull my foot out from underneath me and extend right leg over the back edge of your mat. Then I'm going to bring knee to chest and foot forward, reaching back with left hand. Left hand reaches forward, right foot goes back, right foot comes through, left hand reaches back. Reach forward, point back with your big toe. One more time, kick through, reach back, and crouching cat or downward facing dog. Lower the knees, lower the elbows, flip the palms over, ball your hands into fists, and pull knuckles to biceps. Slow the heart rate down by controlling the breath, but don't be a dictator about it. We're not trying to get the heart rate or the breath rate from 60 to 30. It has to pass through 59, 58, you get the idea. And then roll through your wrists, plant your hands, sit back to your heels, and just pause back in our hero samurai stance, re-grounding before we do the other side. Making that deliberate choice to always be centered, to never really be allowing thoughts to just wander wherever they will. Just taking a moment to stop. That's part of the practice, is we practice and we can stop all the hecticness of life, but even when we're practicing, we're trying to incorporate those very ideas on the mat in our life, so that when life is hectic, I know to just go, wait a second, I just need to stop. I need to stop and take a breath, or I'm gonna lose my fucking shit, right? Now, I think I got it. Let's start again. Lift your butt. Curl your right toes under. Step the left foot forward. Lift the right knee. Anjane. Hands in the air, reach up high and sit down. Lift the back heel, straighten the back leg. So I'm on that side camera so you can see my profile. I got shoulders right over hips. I'm not lunging knee over ankle. And remember, you're not going to burst into flames if your practice isn't perfect, but the more precise we practice over time means that we're ingraining good principles, good ideas into the body. Bring the hands down to the heart. My thumbs come to my sternum. They're glued there. I'm not going to allow them to slide underneath my left boob or nipple over to the armpit when I twist. They stay glued to the sternum, all right? So let's look at that from the front. As I slowly straighten left leg, I'm going to lean forward. As I lean forward, I bend right knee. My right heel is high, and now as I push my weight back to the ball of my right foot, I'm increasing range of motion in my right foot at the big toe and at the ankle. That's really good. I'm straightening my left leg, but I'm pulling my groin back from the top of my mat. I'm trying to stick my butt against my pants, and then we turn. Remember, thumbs do not move. Your thumbs stay in place so you know that the rotation is actually coming from your trunk and not from your shoulders, okay? Untwist. Nice. We're slowly going to transition onto the left foot. That means hands are going to come down to the left shin. I'm just going to let my hands slowly slide down. If my back isn't perfectly straight, it's okay. I'm just trying to focus on my body. I'm trying to endure burning that my body would just prefer to stop to do. I'm trying to make my practice disciplined without being dogmatic. Fingers are on toes. Now my fingers are on the top of the mat. And then I'm going to shift all the way to my left foot. Step the right foot forward. Now my right foot and left foot are next to each other, hands to the knees. I straighten my back first. I straighten my spine after. Not because you or I have any particular back issue, and if you do, even better. I mean, even better that you're being mindful. Not it's better if you have a back problem. That would be weird. But again, we're doing it so that we're aware that we're doing it, right? We're trying to focus on the body. This body that we're moving through space is a tool for us to meditate on, all right? Ankle to thigh. And all I'm going to do here is stick out my butt, hold the ankle to the thigh, and I'm going to do with my arms what I did the first time. And I gave you 3 suggestions. Hands at the center of the chest, reach your hands back, press your chest to your shirt. That feels like you're trying to get your pinkies to touch behind your butt. Or you can go hands straight up. And release. Plant that foot. Hands reach up high. Exhale, we hinge forward at the hips, fingertips to the floor. The right leg lifts and we turn on the right. Pivoting to the right. Pivoted, poopity, pop. Man, it is hard to be recording these videos in one take sometimes, but I'm literally trying to keep it real. Stand up, you guys. Keeping it real from the streets. The streets of middle class Denver, Colorado. Straight out of Denver. Okay, where were we? I'm wiping sweat on my ass. This is completely inappropriate. Oh yeah, I remember. Tilt your pelvis. Now I don't have a camera obviously on the right side of the room in front of my chest, so we'll switch from the top of the mat to the back, but don't be getting weird staring at my butt, you guys. I get really self-conscious about that. And by that I mean I get self-conscious if people aren't staring at it. Left hand to the shin, right hand to the ceiling. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to tighten the space between the right armpit and the right hip. So I try to pull my hip up. That's my upper oblique, okay? If I try to pull my hand down, then I'm using a lot more serratus. So what I want to do is pull the glute up. Now take that right hand, and I'm going to switch cameras again. I'm going to reach over my head, and I'm going to try to create a straight, sharp line from my right hand to my right hip. So I'm trying to pull my right hand to my right hip without me bending at the shoulder or at the elbow. Remember, we're looking at a wall in front of our chest, we're always going to be looking at that wall. So if you're on the camera behind me, I'm looking at my little picture of Arya Stark there. It says not today. I'm going to reach up, place my right hand on my back. As I take my hand off my shin, I bend the knee, and I'm drawing a big arcing line with my left hand. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to trace a circle with my left hand. Like NFL films, like breaking down a play. Imagine that it drew a line as my left hand moved. Now I'm going to reach forward and trace that line. As my hand reaches forward, I'm going to straighten my left leg and place hand to shin. And once I have that, I'm going to reach up and over. I'm going to move mindfully. I'm going to choose how I move. Not because I need to, but because I want to. Right side tightens. Right hand reaches up. The hand comes behind my back. The hand comes off the shin and the left knee bends. I sit low in the hips and reach left hand up and over. Lowering the right shoulder. Reaching forward again. And then straightening the left shin. Reaching up with the right hand and reaching over. This is our last one. Tighten the right side. And then take right hand behind your back. Bend left knee. Reach the left hand up and over. And the only thing that we're going to variate or modify here is left elbow bends. Typically, I would tell you not to do that. Place the hand on the head and then hold the head. That means your left fingertips are on the right side of your skull. And then press right ear towards right shoulder just a little bit. Release. As I come forward, I'm going to plant left hand in the top left corner next to my left foot. And then I'm going to pull left foot out from under me. Now, I kick left foot through. Notice my right knee is bent, right foot is flat. I'm going to reach back towards the camera with my right hand. I'm really working on noticing what happens in my left shoulder. So I'm really focusing on grabbing the floor with my left hand. Right hand reaches over, left foot kicks back. Left foot kicks through, right hand reaches back. And I don't move beyond what I know my left shoulder can manage. Kick through and reach back, hold it here, and release. Press back into downward facing dog. Lower the knees, lower the elbows, flip the palms up. Ball your hands in a fist, pull knuckles to elbows. That should fire your biceps. Grounding again on the mat. Our body learns so much about how to have a strong, stable center when we're using opposite hand and opposite foot to balance. Release. Place your palms on the floor. Lift your elbows and sit to your heels. Now that would be a tremendous amount of really good work if we stopped here. And maybe you're just like, this is on YouTube and I'm not actually in class, I'm watching a YouTube video. Click. You could always stop. You could. Maybe you already did, in which case it's weird that I'm talking to you if you're not actually watching this anymore. I get very up in my head about teaching a class to a camera lens. But, we're going to do one more thing, if you're still with me. Come forward into a plank. Remember, we had our elbows down on the floor? Now I want you to step your feet back and lift your knees so you're in a forearm plank. And then right hand is going to reach towards left elbow. That means I'm pivoting on right elbow. My heels go to the right, so my body turns to the left. And then all I'm going to do is reach up and over and touch the floor above my head and try to lift my hips high enough that a dog could walk under me without shedding. And for me right now, it's like not even a poodle, barely a chihuahua, And then I'm going to lower the hips to the floor, plant the left hand, plant the right hand, and I'm just going to push myself up. I want my legs to be stacked, toes pointing as much as possible. And I'm just trying to push shoulder. Which camera am I on? Maybe I got to switch here so you can see I'm not ear to shoulder. I'm pushing down. Legs are stacked. And your hips are going to want to turn back. That means left butt to the floor. We're going to try to get that left butt up and right leg straight. All right. Now, plant the left hand, right elbow down. We're going back to a forearm plank. And I'm going to go back to that other camera. Forearms look like train tracks. That means they're parallel to each other. Lift your groin and pelvis off the floor. And then left hand steps to right elbow. Heels go left. Right hand reaches up. Stay on the edge of both feet here, guys. Reach right hand up and over, just like we practiced in triangle. But this time we're going to keep trying to reach and touch the floor. And my left forearm is trying to push my left hip high. You're going to feel that low in the love handles. And then I'm going to plant right hand so I can lower left hip. So I can plant left hand and stack my legs. I push down until shoulders off of the ear. And breathe. How y'all doing? Just making sure we're not actually sitting on our butt, right? Plant that hand, lift that right glute, and push left shoulder away from ear. Lower back down. Roll onto the belly. Keep your knees on the floor. Push your chest off of the floor. And step your knees forward so you can sit back behind your feet and extend right leg out. Left foot's on my inner thigh. Right hand is on my left knee. Left hand is on the floor. I'm going to sit up straight and turn. I'm going to try to pull my knee off of the floor. But I'm also, because I'm holding it down, I'm trying to pull my knee off the floor with my arm, and I'm trying to prevent my leg from being lifted off the floor by my arm with my hip. And that means when I twist through it, I'm actively twisting through it. Release. Let's switch sides, and let's switch cameras. Left leg is straight, right foot is on my left inner thigh. Left hand is on my right knee, right hand is on the floor behind me. I'm going to turn and try to pull my leg off the floor, and my leg says, not having it. And as I try to pull and as I try to hold down, I'm going to turn with a long neck. I'm lifting the crown of my head. And I love the fact that Baby Yoda always has my back. Always has my back. Release. Bring the soles of your feet together. Hold on to your toes and try to press your knees down. Place your left foot in front of your groin, your right foot in front of your left foot. Slide your hands forward, rest your elbows, and rest your head if you can. Release. Slide your hands back, lift your heart. Place your right foot in front of your groin, your left foot in front of that. Slide your hands forward, lower your elbows, maybe lower your head. Slide your hands back, lift your head and your heart. If you can, stack right shin on top of left. Here's what you have to understand. Your knee needs to rest on something, okay? So if your knee won't rest on your ankle, but you can place a block underneath it, do that. If you place a block here at its highest and your knee is like not gonna, if your knee is gonna be this high, you're better off to plant that foot, plant this leg, and come back to the Sukhasana position, right? But That's just a great rule of thumb, is that the knee needs to rest on something. As long as it's at rest, lean to your right, reach to the right, lower your right elbow. All we're trying to do is stretch through that side. And again, you could always just have your hand out here, your leg here, hold on to the right side of your head, hand on the top of your head, and you can just lower not only my heart to my right, but my head to the right. You get a little bit of a pull. Switch sides or stack. Remember, even if your knee could rest on one side, it might not rest on the other. And that's one of the things we're trying to always address, is the imbalances in the body, so that the range of motion I can create on one side isn't an injury if I try it on the other side. Left hand, right hand, or hand on the side of the head. Elbow can come down, maybe, maybe not. You can reach. You can push your fingertips down with your head. Release. If you're a Shavasana person, stretch out, lie down. If you're a Sukhasana person, bring one leg in front of the other. We don't want the feet pinned underneath us. It'll cut off blood flow to our feet while we're trying to meditate. And then if we can't meditate for very long, we're never going to be enlightened, and we're never going to meet, you know, the one true God, whoever that is. Place your hands on your knees. Close your eyes. Thanks for being with me, as I said, on day whatever of all that stuff. And I hope you're well. You can always support these live yoga classes, the Stronger Yoga channel on Patreon. You can become a monthly member, and members get additional content that people just watching on YouTube don't see, but we try to put a lot of great stuff on YouTube too. And if you can't support us financially, I hope you'll at least give us a like, because anything that you're doing to tell YouTube, I like this stuff, I subscribed, I hit the notification bell, I liked it, I commented, it means that YouTube sees that people value this content and they try to show it to more people. So you could always help us out that way. Thanks to Big Raven yoga mats, these amazing yoga mats. I mean, it's rare that you get to say, I get to sit on Audrey Hepburn's face every day. So thanks, Big Raven, and thank you guys for being here. Namaste.